Okay, let's take a look. We've got another letter today, another nursing letter. So it's a discharge. So, as always, we go to the notes first. So what do we have to do? So we need audience and purpose. So we're writing to a community nurse. It's a discharge. So you're informing her about the patient's condition and the medical and social needs. That's good. Now, as I mentioned before, if you check out that OET Ultimate Writing Guide, it does say the more you personalize it, the higher scores you will get. And there's always different verbs that you can use, so instead of saying like I am referring or thanks for seeing, I'm writing to discharge. Well, you can, but what you're doing here, you're not discharging this patient into somebody else's care. You're not discharging them to some other location. They're going home, and the community nurse, presumably, is going to be coming round and checking up. Let's have a look. So she lives at home. All right. So she's going home to her own home. And discharge plan, get the community nurse to come. Presumably, the community, so that would imply home visits. Emphasize we need OET style plan. Okay, so what you could say, dear Miss Ruddick, I'm writing to inform you about the condition of Mrs. Patient and to outline her medical and social needs for your future visits, or something similar. That would work quite well, okay? And that's more personalized, more unique to you, and it's immediate, and it will certainly get you a better score. So let's have a look. I hereby write a letter. Right. You don't need to tell me it's a letter. I can see I am writing a letter to you. Well, I can see that. So you don't need to say that. So I'm writing, I hereby, and it's a bit too formal. It's like you're not a mayor giving a speech. I hereby declare this health centre open, or whatever. So write a letter to you on behalf of Miss Bell. So it's not on Miss Bell's behalf, is it though? What you're doing, you're informing the community nurse. Okay, so you can say I'm writing to discharge Miss Bell, or I'm writing to inform you on the condition and future needs of Miss Bell, who is being discharged today following blah blah blah. You could do that. Either one of those would certainly work better. And I hereby write a letter to you on behalf of Miss Bell, who was diagnosed with, watch your prepositions, diagnosed with unstable diabetes mellitus, with left something foot, ulcer, small. That's right. That's too long for the purpose. There's too much there. To continue care, care by monitoring her drug regimen. Right. That's too long for a purpose, right? You don't need that. You can put that at the bottom. That about kind of foot and kind of drugs, right? So purpose needs to be immediate. So I'm writing to update you. I'm writing to inform you of the current condition of Miss Bell, who's being discharged today following an episode of blah 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 blah, and who will require home monitoring and attention in the future. That would work fine. You can put all that stuff about the foot later on. Because if we go back to it, medical and social kind of needs, right? So you want the community nurse, it seems, to do quite a few things. You want to develop a lifestyle kind of plan, do some exercise, stop, stop fucking drinking. Oh, sorry. Stop drinking and etc. So that's what so I wouldn't mention that stuff about the kind of foot or whatever. I would put that lower down, okay? Because if we go back to it, okay, so she was smart, right? So main thing was the diabetes, all right, and this fact that she's home alone, she's a bit thirsty, as retired people are, and she's not looking after herself, and you want her, that's something else, and you want the nurse to get her more involved, social activities, get her away from the source, and basically get her life back on track and stop pissing it away. That's essentially it, right? So that's what you need to like say in this purpose, because you've got here, right, on behalf who was diagnosed with diabetes to continue care by monitoring a drug regimen. So that's not it, is it? That's not what the notes are suggesting or saying, so I would put more about that in the purpose. Then you expand on the purpose at the bottom, so put in the details about check her ulcerated foot and watch her meds and keep her off of the booze or whatever. So Miss Bell was admitted to the hospital, of which she spent 3 weeks. Managed for date. Right. So we need a date at first, right? You always have a date. So what date was she admitted? Does it tell us? Is there right? Yeah. So 24th of June. Okay, right. So she was there for like 3 weeks. Okay. So you need to put that date. On the 24th of June. Miss Bell was admitted due to what? Oh, that's not a very good picture. So what was she admitted with? She was admitted with, because her diabetes was unstable. So that kind of ulcer thing, but diabetes. Okay. So on the 24th of June, Miss Bell was admitted due to the complications of diabetes and with ulcerated left foot, something such as that. I can't really read that. That's pretty difficult to read, but you've got all the dosages there. Right now, as I mentioned in the previous video, I think I posted it. I'm not sure if I posted it here on YouTube or in the group. The community nurse doesn't really need all this information about the exact dosage that you gave her and so and so. You don't really need that. I mean, why would you need that? During Mrs. Bell's possessive stay in the hospital, daily wound dressing was done on the ulcer. Well, I would imagine it would be, sorry, I shouldn't like swear, but it would be a pretty shit hospital if they didn't change her dressing on a regular basis. So you don't really need to, explain this, because I would expect it. It's a hospital. I would expect that, nurses would come along and change her dressing. So you don't strictly need to, the hospital daily wound dressing was done. Well, I would hope so. So did the ulcer get better? Did it kind of heal? Saline cost, I can't really read that. That's closely monitored for any signs of complications. Okay. So also note that Miss Bell is a retiree who is now dependent on small income from pension, stays alone, and increased her alcohol intake since retirement. She doesn't do Right, that's a bit of a... Is that one sentence? Is that a single sentence? That's a little bit kind of much, you know. Also, a note. Well, also note, it's not an also, is it? This is the main issue. This is the main issue. You know, you want me to like know about her condition and her medical and social kind of needs. So it's not also, it's not, you know, also kind of note this. This is the main issue. Yeah. That you want me to give her an overall lifestyle plan, to encourage that she exercise, do some social activities, that she starts doing some kind of work, and that she keeps her alcohol intake down. This is what you want me to do. Yeah. So this is the main issue. So it's not also, please also note this. This is it. This is the main issue. Misspell will require, right, proper monitoring blood sugar levels, diet and advice, reduce alcohol intake. She will benefit from. Okay, misspell also need to be established on the small income business. Creates interest from people. Is it content? Oh, okay. So it's kind of like the previous one. Organization. What's the most important issue? What's the most important things? And the most important thing here, it seems to be, so the glycemia, the hyperglycemia, and the ulcer, you know, they're not the main issue. The main issue in this discharge plan, which is what you're telling her about, is make sure she keeps to her meds, eats decent food, keeps off of the booze, and she needs to get active, involved, etc. Okay, so that's, you know, so again, it's all about this organization. What's the key issues? What is it exactly? What's the point and purpose of a letter? Yeah. So you need to read between the lines, essentially, on the task when it says write a discharge. Okay, but if you immediately jump in, I'm writing to discharge. Okay, but what are you really doing? What you're really doing is informing me about this patient's needs, and you're asking me, essentially, you're making a request for me to come up with some kind of a plan. Yeah? So that's what you ask. That's essentially it as far as purpose, you know? So this is what you need to read between the lines. What is it exactly you want the reader to do? You want me to formulate some kind of general lifestyle plan to make sure she keeps on her meds, keeps off of the booze, gets involved, active, blah, 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 so she doesn't go back onto the sauce. So, you know, this is the purpose part, how to correctly interpret that. Okay, hope that helps. If you're watching on YouTube, links below, etc. You know, if you're watching on Telegram, I hope this helps you out. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you next time.